Hi there. Yeah. Hi, it's me. How you doing? So, I gotta talk about the elephant in the room.
You know, Greg, there seems to always be a lot of elephants in the rooms when it comes to you.
The elephant you don't know is in the room, but I want to talk about that elephant. You guys know I like sharing my personal life with you. I love sharing! It's so fun! It's kind of like I gossip, but I don't really like gossiping on other people.
I'm Greg, and I don't like gossiping about other people when that's all you ever have done.
I more so enjoy gossiping about myself.
Yeah, and that's true too.
So with that being said, I want to talk about something that happened recently. First of all, my spouse manages my business email, LaneyBot. So after 6 years of 7 years? Yeah, like 7 years. I had somebody record videos with me a long time ago, over 6 years ago. And they're obviously enjoying being in the video. They volunteer to be in the videos. And you know, down the line, that person and I, because we were dating and stuff, well, I decided to end things with them and they went home to Canada.
Greg here is describing his early collaborations and skits and parodies with Shiloh. Back in the day, they made a lot of content together, all the while Onision completely destroyed Shiloh's brand, and in large part stunted her career massively by her association and collaborations with Onision.
So I used to work with somebody in videos a long time ago, and recently I've been uploading those videos that I did with that person so long ago, because even though they did that to me, even though they took my money...
So there's a common trend with Greg, she took my money. My money. He's done this with every single person he's been involved with so far, and the people that he's dated, is that he will offer to pay for their flights, pay for their things, even house them. You saw my Onision Files video, where I go into the legal documents of his first divorce. He prides himself on paying for things for them all of the time, but then when those situations go south, he uses that as a means to make them look bad when he was the first starting party who offered all of these things. Like, you offer to do something for somebody, and then once that friendship, that relationship ends, you use what you offered them against them. It's a really disingenuous, horrible tactic that people like Greg like to use. Hey, you know what? I'll help you, but now you owe me all of this and more.
Like, even though there's all that really, like, not so great feeling there, I still enjoy the art, you know, the work that we did together. It's very nice. It's wonderful, really. That person was very, very funny, and I can see that despite having gone through those things with them. But I got an email, or Lainey got an email, because Lainey manages the business, and I can't show it to you because the last time I showed you guys an email, I got in a lot of trouble on YouTube. I don't know why I got in trouble, but I did. So I can't, like, show screen caps anymore. I just have to, like, repeat them. Oh, but I will post this to the Coterie on onision.org/forums, which only like 6 people have access to. It's a hidden forum within the forum. It's pretty cool. But
yeah, of course you have another hidden forum within a forum. Is that your little inner circle of people who may be below the age of 18? Because my goodness, man, you've had a lot of forums since 2012. What are we on, like, forum 6, 7 at this point?
I will post a screenshot there. Anyway, it says, to whom it may concern, you are being advised that any and all material containing imagery, sound, or likeness of that person's name is to be immediately removed from any public sites. No. The answer is no, okay? You can't do that. When somebody volunteers to be in a video, you can't just say, you know what, I revoke it. No, the agreement was, you are giving me property. It is mine now. There was never any talk of anything outside that.
The agreement was, well, let me explain something to you. Agreements mean nothing. You can agree that somebody will pay you, but guess what? That doesn't mean they're obligated or legally have to do it. That's why when you make agreements, specifically in regards to content, or, for example, if you go onto a commercial, I've done a commercial before, and I had to get they gave me a piece of paper, and I had to sign a contract giving my image, myself, my persona, my physique, my face, everything. I basically signed away myself for a commercial for 5 years, meaning that they can redistribute a video that I'm in this commercial as much as they want, to as many TV stations as they want, but again, I have to sign that on a piece of paper, and that basically signs myself away for them to be able to use my image. If you have an agreement that somebody will be in your videos, and then later down the line, like 8, 9 years, they don't want to be in those videos anymore, and it damages their own brand, they have a right to that. Because legally, there is no obligation for you to keep those videos up under a legal sense. If they want it removed, they can get it removed because, again, there's no legal contract. It's really important that people understand how important contracts are in situations like this. It's why commercials, it's why TV shows, and it's why movies, you sign a contract. And you of all people, Greg, you should understand this, considering how many contracts you've tried to make other people sign, even though they've always been false with no notarization.
Just because it is years later and you no longer feel like, oh, I love these things, you still did them and you still volunteered yourself to be in those videos. To revoke the right for me distributing content that I made with you as a volunteer, that is totally bonkers.
No, it's not bonkers at all, Greg. You just refuse to acknowledge or understand something legally.
If that person from over 6 years ago wants to go and try to take everything that's mine just because it slightly involves them, well, then I say you give me back the thousands of dollars that you took from me. You give me back the money I sent you when you were with that other guy. You give me back all the money I spent on plane tickets for you. You give me back all the money I spent on outfits and food and housing, etc. I think we're about $50,000 by now. You give me back all that, and yes, I will take them down.
And this is what I was talking about. Well, how about you give me all the money that you took from me? He uses phrases like, you took from me, when the reality is he offered to help and pay for these things, and then when they take him up on the offer, later in life, later in time, he uses it against them. This is a horrible, destructive tactic that if you really care about somebody and you really want to help somebody, you can't use the help that you gave them against them as a means to demean them. And that's exactly what he does here. He's done it more with just Shiloh. He did it with Sky, and he's done it with other people. You know how many emails are floating around of Onision offering to fly people out in order to collaborate with him? Like, he offers to fly them, and then when they do, and they do collaborate, and that friendship ends, he uses that against them. Like, I paid for your flights. It just blows my mind that he doesn't seem to grasp this simple concept of you constantly offering help, but then you use that help against them later on. It's so disingenuous, and it's really troublesome, because it seems to me that this person can't do any kind act without wanting something in return or expecting something in return all of the time, which is just incredibly selfish.
But here's the thing. I am not even really making money off most of those videos. Reality check. And I am keeping those comedy sketches up because they're awesome. And I love those comedy sketches. And I'm not going to just throw away all of that wonderful stuff.
So you admit that you're not making money on them, so why can't you just simply remove them? Because later on in time, she realized that, hey, it's damaging my brand and reputation that I ever collaborated with you in the first place. Especially since there's no legally bound contract that was ever agreed upon where she signed her image and her brand away with you on your channel.
Anyway, they say you have not been given any rights to publish these. Yes, I was. They were in them. They were literally, Okay, guys, so when you voluntarily collaborate with someone, when you play out characters in a video, like let's say I got in a banana costume and I was featured in a Dan is Not on Fire video, or I was in a Smosh video, or I was in any your favorite YouTuber video, okay? If I was in like a banana costume dancing around in the background, can you imagine if just because I didn't like them anymore, that I went and sent them a letter saying, you must remove all this immediately? It just, to me, it seems so, there's no better word than bonker schnitzel. That literally, it's beyond bonkers. It's bonker schnitzel to just, because you feel like it, to pretend like you never ever were totally cool with being in a video and totally gave permission, because it's not like I just filmed someone sleeping. You know, that's not how it went. Anyway, they say they expect to receive proof that everything is gone within 5 days. And it's like, dude, come on.
No, Greg. Didn't you send me emails requesting and demanding, well, you didn't request, demanding that I remove all my videos about you because it's quote unquote slander? Because I simply respond to things that you do and say publicly. The difference is I don't need a contract because I'm not participating in your content. And if you have somebody participating in your content and you want to make sure that you're legally safe and those videos can stay up, you just simply have a release form contract of that person's image and distribution of that person. It's so easy to do, but not for you, Greg. Understanding simple things is quite the challenge for you, Greg.
This just makes me think, why do I work with anybody ever? Why do I have anyone in my videos ever? If they're just gonna, like, down the line cause an issue. I want to make awesome, funny videos. And if I can't make an awesome, funny video with someone without worrying that later on they're gonna be like, I don't want this video out there anymore. It's like, oh, you're ruining everything. Anyway, they say if I don't comply with their demand, it's going to result in a cause of action. I don't know what that means. It says I should govern myself accordingly. Again, question mark? Anyway, it's cute that they think that you can just pretend permission was never given for something even though it is beyond obvious that permission was given for something.
Greg, the phrase beyond obvious doesn't hold in court. You can't use, well, it's beyond obvious that it was agreed upon. It was beyond obvious that the person was voluntarily in the video. It was beyond obvious. It's a phrase you're going to hear a lot really soon. I would love to just see Greg in a courthouse saying, like, Mr. Judge, it was beyond obvious. It was beyond obvious, Mr. Judge. It's beyond obvious, Mr. Judge. It's obvious, Mr. Judge. Listen to me. It's obvious.
But in no rational world does this actually hold merit. In fact, do I have my phone here? Let's see if we can call this guy. Hi, I got an email that said I need to remove videos with an artist of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg?
Yeah.
Or is this his manager?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Greg.
Yeah, permission to use those videos is beyond obvious.
For the agreement. If you could send it to me, then we're good to go.
Yeah, well, to prove in any court that someone was unwillingly participating in a video, I would be amazed to see that happen.
Okay, well, if you give me your address, we can get to court if that's required. I'm asking you, one professional to another, these videos are 6 years old, to remove those videos completely from your site, and just to have some human decency, and to get that. I mean,
you realize these are comedy sketches, right? And when you volunteer to be in a video in a comedy sketch, and it's beyond obvious that someone is willingly in a sketch.
Okay.
Doesn't that seem? Doesn't it? Okay, I mean, let's be real and honest. Let's be real and honest, real quick. Okay, it's obvious she's voluntarily in the videos. It's obvious. Like, there's no situation in which you say, oh, that person wasn't willingly in the videos, because they are. It's obvious.
Okay, I'm not interested in the debate. I'm
That's because the debate doesn't work in your favor.
I've dealt with these types of people before on social media, especially Twitter. Twitter is known for it. It's these people that think that if you disagree with somebody or you think outside of their own perspective or own worldview, that everything is a debate. Like, literally, you can't have a conversation without it being a debate. You have to win the debate. It's this type of extreme thinking that is really, really dysfunctional. And any person that you know that thinks and acts like this, that thinks everything is debate, and that everything has to be an actual argument, stay away from those types of people. Because that's a really, really bad character trait and a flaw that will cause a lot of future dysfunction in your relationships or friendships or even family relationships. This is outside of just Greg here as an example. This is a universal thing I want people to come away with, is that you can have conversations with people without it always being so argumentative. And I'm right, you're wrong. And it's clearly demonstrated in this entire next phone conversation that's how Onision processes everything. You can't have an actual conversation with him, which honestly, this is partially why years ago when Onision challenged me to have a debate on his live stream, I don't know if you guys remember this, but years ago Onision challenged me for a live debate, and I said no. And what does he do? He goes on camera with a sock on his hand called Repzion and starts talking to a sock, attempting to mock and debate me because I said I didn't want to debate him. Because if you've ever seen any of his debates, it's complete circular logic. It just goes in a circle. You can't actually, even if you say something compelling that could disprove him wrong, it's a block. And there's no point. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of space, it's a waste of mental energy to want to actively try to debate somebody who has a behavior like this.
It's so obvious. Like,
okay, Greg.
You understand that if somebody's doing something, that they're either willingly doing it or they're not willingly doing it, which means somebody is holding them at ransom or something.
Okay, well, again.
You know that you're wrong is my point.
Okay, whether I'm wrong or right is not relevant at this discussion.
It's totally important.
What I'm asking you to do is simply to take those videos down If you
You-
if you want to send me your information, I will. If you want to escalate this, I'm happy to escalate this in the court, and let's see what they say. If you don't want to,
Oh my God! So you're
you
you know for a fact that this person is willingly in these videos. Yet you're gonna escalate this to a court because you're so dishonest.
No. It has nothing to do with dishonesty. It has to. What he says, it's about human decency. It's like your relationship is ended. You have re-uploaded videos of this person when they're trying to future their career in music, and what you're uploading is damaging to their brand. Protecting your brand's really, really important, and having a good brand can make or break your entire career. Just look up makeup guru people for example. Their brands and then the products they sell and the products they make are really, really important to a lot of people. And if you work with a makeup supplier that completely is a really bad company and that sends out a bunch of products, that will damage your brand. In the same way, working with people such as yourself, Greg, this is why nobody wants to collaborate with you, is damaging to their brand in the long run. And this may be something from the past, years and years and years ago, but you're the only one who's bringing it up currently, making it an issue again. Again, there's no contract, so thus you can go to court, because the only request here is to remove the videos. And if you go to a court and there's no legal document stating, her signing a release form for her image to be used, her likeliness, because she's a musician in your content, the court's most likely going to side with the fact that there's no contract and she has a legal request to have those videos removed.
It's so obvious that somebody is in the videos willingly, and you know this. Yet you're gonna try to take legal action against somebody, despite the fact that you're so obviously wrong.
Greg, let me tell you something.
Just be a real human. Just be a real person, dude. You know that they were willingly in those videos.
That phrase can be equally applicable to you, Greg. Just be a real person.
So do me a favor and send me your contact information.
You're trying to avoid the real conversation because you know you're wrong.
I'm not avoiding that. It's not a conversation I want to have.
Because you're wrong. You are so wrong. You know they are voluntarily in that video.
Okay.
Why would they be in costume? Why would they be in costume? Why would they be in costume, acting, playing a character, unless they were voluntarily in the video?
Doesn't matter if they were compensated. If they were in fact compensated, you need to have a contract, a release form of their likeness and their personhood, and you need to say, hey, you know what, this person will be in my video, and I'm going to pay them this set amount, and you need to sign your name here, so to make sure that you understand that you're going to be in my video, and that I can use this video as I see fit whenever I want. That's all you gotta do. No contract, no legal case, no defense for you. That's how it works, Greg.
Okay.
And they were compensated. They were also compensated.
You're going to do all the talking. This is going to be a one-way conversation.
Because your only response is send me your address. That's just creepy.
Well, no, I'm not asking for your address. I said send me your attorney's address, and I'm happy to escalate this if you want to.
Why would I waste money on proving that someone who was obviously in a video was obviously in a video voluntarily?
Then simply take the videos down. They're voluntary.
Why would I do that when I own these? Okay, I paid this actor through housing, through food, etc.
How much did you pay her? Sorry, how much did you pay her?
Housing, food, etc. Plane tickets, everything.
Do you have a contract?
Do I have proof that the person was voluntarily in the videos? You are so stupid. You are a fraud.
Greg.
You are a fraud.
Greg, if you're going to continue to disparage me, this conversation's over. So
you're not a real human. You're not a real human. You can't have a real conversation.
Right. And the only person that's been talking so far is you.
Actually, technically, you've been talking too, Mr. Technical.
I'm blown away at how immature and his inability to have an actual conversation with anybody. It results to like a kiddo's bratty, I want this at the grocery store, and carries on and makes a big scene about it. It's absurd that somebody as old as him operates and behaves like this. And I only recently saw this video like last week, and I'm just sitting here saying, wow. Wow.
Alright, so that guy is a jerk. I have to make that whole phone call private. Only patrons are going to hear it. Because I might not even be on there for long. The patron only thing. I can't believe this. This guy, I'm on the phone with this guy, and he's literally saying that that person wasn't voluntarily in there if I don't have a contract with them. When they're obviously voluntarily in the video because they're in costume. They're acting out a character. Like, this is the world we live in, where it's like someone is obviously participating in something, and someone's gonna be like, well, technically, if I take this to court. Anyway, so I really, really don't like that fella. In fact,
Contract. Just get a contract and all your problems are solved. You won't have to be this way, and so much can get resolved. Why are such simple things so hard for you? All you gotta do is just get a contract and save any boo-boos. Stop being so angry and just be calm for once. Because if you keep acting the way that you do, you're just gonna keep out becoming like a dunce. A lollipop triple dipped in psycho, you're an annoying onion who really just needs to go.